Hey everyone, welcome back to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, the weekly live stream here on my channel, in which we all gather around the modern day campfires of our iPhone screens, computer monitors, and televisions, and talk about stuff that happened in the week in Geek. Well, I guess technically I do all the talking. Everybody else does chatting. Which, by the way, I need to bring the chat up. Oh, I told you I don't want to make out with you. No. Hi. Yes, I bought a new hat. Try not to faint. Wow, lots of great stuff going on today, including this grand orchestral score for something. One assumes that it's for me, and I'm just now noticing that I left the door open back there, so we got sunlight streaming through. Let's turn that down. Got coffee, got dates. This is hilarious, Christopher. This is hilarious. Hear that? Everybody thought you were a wig. He's over on the couch sulking right now. The reason he was up in my lap is because he was really, really wanting a walk. And just didn't have time to get him one this morning before the show. Had time to make coffee. That's his guilt trip that he sends my way. Like, what do you mean we don't have time? You got time to make the coffee in your hand. You got time to eat those dates. Anyway. So, tell me in the chats, is everybody caught up on Andor? And if not, let me know, and I will send you a forwarding address for your Geek card, because you should be all caught up. Because damn. What a cool, what are they calling those, blocks? Blocks of episodes? I think they're calling them blocks. What a cool block. Definitely the finest television that I've seen in a long time, and I've been watching some cool stuff. Like that show, The Studio, with Seth Rogen. You guys watching that? It's funny. It's funny. Anyway, that's really all that I have to. That's really all that's been on my mind. I have ate, drank, slept, everything Andor. Everything is for me has all been about Andor this week. I have watched that block of episodes at least 3 times. What day it dropped on? What, Tuesday night? I didn't watch it Tuesday night. I waited till Wednesday. So I watched it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't know. I'll probably watch it again today, but as I'll get to later, I do have a lot to do today. Renz Tolentino is on episode 4 of Andor. You're like my friend Kevin. You are. Too busy. You got time to draw that ghost, that Papa V photo. Papa V Perpetua. That's a mouthful. Say that 10 times really fast. Papa V Perpetua. Papa V Perpetua. I'm going to try something here. And let's see if it makes me lose my audio here. Because this echo cancellation is on. And did I just lose audio? Can anybody hear me now? Anybody in the chat, any one of you channels, sound off. Did we lose audio? Because I've been noticing that lately in the streams, the music has been kind of spotty in the background, whereas it used to be back in the olden days, darling. You used to be able to, yeah, okay, audio's good. That's good. Thank you. And also let me know if the music sounds better, if you can hear it better, because I've noticed in replays that it's kind of choppy and not ideal. But it seems to be that in the past we were able to hear the music a lot more cleanly. I don't know. Yeah, Laura agrees that can confirm you can't watch something like Andor while working on art. You miss too much, and Andor needs full attention. Yeah. I was married, still am, technically, to a gal who, a cowgirl, who would just sit there with her phone on, while we were watching TV shows. It was maddening for me, because then she would have to stop and be like, what did I miss? What happened? And I'm like, put your phone down. Like, I don't know. I should have implemented a rule that when we're watching a show, the phones had to stay in the other room, because we were both kind of bad about it. But she was terrible. But then, what are you gonna do? I'm Gen X. She's millennial, I think. 1983, so she's millennial on the cusp of Gen X. If I can say that with a using astrology terminology. Is it on the cusp of something when you're like a Taurus on the cusp of Leo or something like that? Yeah. Anyway. Oh, Christopher's always got something good to say. My ex-wife's still legally still married. You too, huh? Would do that too. Halfway through. Hey, who's that? That's the main character. Oh God. Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, it's no surprise. I'm not spoiling anything for anybody because they've been building up to the Gorman massacre, which has been sort of quasi-canonical in Star Wars lore for a long time. Dating back to, I want to say, one of the early video games from the 90s, right? I looked it up. I had to look it up because while I knew about the Gorman massacre from, I think, Rebels, I was unaware of its origins, of where everything got started. I thought it was just something that they made up for the show. And yeah, so it's to nobody's shock that the Gorman massacre was inbound, and I will just say it happens in episode 8. And it's astonishing how good it is, how gut-wrenching it is. I'm gonna tear up right now talking about it. I'm not even kidding. It's just gut-wrenching what those poor people had to go through, and the way they delivered it in a way that feels very, very real, and is particularly poignant in light of everything that's happening over in the Middle East, all that nonsense that went on in, if nonsense is putting it mildly, that went on in Syria. Oh God, what else am I missing? I mean, of course, those bastards in Myanmar are always up to something evil. I'm having a hard time lately. Not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time lately. World's in a pickle. And the cognitive dissonance that I'm getting from friends that I know regarding things that bother me is frustrating. It's frustrating. Anyway, but on to better things. As some of you may have noticed in the YouTube channel, I posted a question. If you were to pose up King Shark with any of, and I listed 4 video games, which one would you do? And the reason I did that is because I took advantage of Sideshow's deals over May the 4th weekend and got something that is decidedly not Star Wars. I have had my eye on King Shark here for ever since he showed up for just like myself over a little bit. Ever since he showed up for the first look, I wanted him, but I didn't want to have to spend the money on him because he's outside of my collecting wheelhouse, and I just feel like doing something like that is an indulgence that while I can't afford it, it's also not responsible of me to get. So I also, occasionally there are giveaways at work, and I told everybody, keep an eye out for a King Shark for me, and they were never able to help me out with that. But once, I think it was, what was it, 30% off everything? If you ordered $300 worth of stuff, then you got 30% off, something like that. $400 worth of stuff, maybe 5, I don't know. And I was like, King Shark was up for grabs. And so were a couple of other things. There was like an army building. I think it was the what do you call it? The Scout Trooper was up there as well. They were trying to get rid of all those. Bad Wolf Media sounding off. Thank you. It's 40% over $400. So yeah, I don't even know how much money I saved. I just knew it was a lot. It was more than I could for the discount. And yeah, it was. I'm so happy to have this right now. I can't even tell you. I'm just so thrilled. Moving up around, I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff. I'm glad to hear that the sound is cleaner. I knew that, but I knew that had to be something. Part of the reason that I had the audio issue 2 weeks ago in the live stream, I think, is because I thought it was because I had turned that off. Because that is something that I had changed before that show. But everybody's saying that the audio is still good. That's great. I'm going to scroll up to the top here, see who showed up first. Steve131, hey, good to see you, man. Nice. From across the big pond, as well as Christine Payne. Jogron is not joining us today. He's just popping in to say, hey, what's up? Linda Underhill is here as well. Steve Narwit. Tick! My friend, Kevin, second time I brought him up in this live stream, has a daughter named Blue, named after his favorite color of lightsaber. Her full name is, without dropping my last names, I will say, her middle name is also Mara. That's in Mara Jade. Doomed to be a geek. Doomed to be a geek. There's power in naming, my friends. But she loves everything Star Wars, but can't deal with the Bad Batch because she doesn't like Omega's voice. Whatever, dude. Anyway, so yeah, I got this. And make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, there was something Rob Parisho said. I guess it goes on tech posting. That wasn't it. What was it? David Lynch's here. What's up, dude? I always liked how Tech was so Spock machine-like. Yeah, he almost had like he was on the spectrum kind of a quality, which I thought was an absolute win. Any chance that you can get to showcase somebody with any sort of oh god, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Not divergence. Yeah, neurodivergent. Any sort of neurodivergence in Star Wars, I'm all for. This was it. I didn't realize that they released a special edition on May the 4th for Bucketheads. Is that the comedy fan-based thing with the Stormtroopers? Set me right on that because I'm kind of curious about it. Is it too late? Okay, you can watch it later today. Okay, good. Let's see what else we got. I'm not right in the head because when I saw Tech, my first thought was Dead Clone going to put it on. Are you also, Steve? Wasn't it also you that thought that I was wearing a weird wig? Better get some things checked. Dead Clone going to put it on you. No, I'm all Tech all the time. And by the way, I just wanted to point out that I put a comma down here by my Tech Bro thing. Tech Bro, not Tech Bro. Tech Bro. Oh god, it's not funny if you have to explain the joke, Terry. Let's see. Rune Samuelson's here. What's up, Scandinavian representative? I'm so tired today. Okay, it was Christopher. Never mind. It was not Steve. All right, cool. Let's scroll down here and see what else is going on. Oh, Luis Escavilla is here. What's up, dude? Yeah, King Shark is the best. I mean, I was really surprised by how much I shouldn't be. By now, when James Gunn brings something into one of the series that's like, oh, wouldn't have thought of that. Yeah, you've got to know that it's going to be genius. Case in point, Crypto. By the way, I am trying to decide whether to keep this hat or send it back. Right now, I'm leaning towards keep it. So if anybody has any opinions on the matter, please feel free to let me know. Oh, that's a good one. Good point. Is that something I can change all the way up at the top here? Correct comment. Or do I need to go into... Yeah, I don't know where to do it here. Okay, yeah, sorry for that, dude. While we're on the topic of clones, it's never a bad idea to give a thanks to D. Bradley Baker. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, he's not without skill. I will say that. Have not had the honor of meeting the man, and I'm kind of... I don't really bend over backwards to meet actors and at Comic-Cons. For one thing, I don't like spending money to meet people. I don't like waiting in line to meet people. I don't have the patience to wait in line, and frequently people who are in line with you are stinky. It's a big thing for me. The way people smell bothers me. I'm highly olfactory. I've got a strong sniffer. It's crazy. I remember there was once when I was working as a valet parker, and my valet parking station was around the corner and like 40 yards away from the main entrance to the place. And I picked up on this woman's perfume when she showed up and I parked her car out. I was like, wow, that's a nice smelling perfume. And she went inside, was inside for a couple of hours, and I was sitting there reading a book, just, enjoying the nice weather. And I smelled that perfume. And I got her car and I grabbed her keys, got her car and was pulling it up as she walked around the corner. And she was like, how did you know? And I was just like, have a nice day, ma'am. not gonna say, not gonna say I could smell your cologne from around the corner. There's no good way to say that. It covers up your beautiful hair. Well, not all of it, thank goodness. It looks like it's, I don't know, emerging from beneath it. Yeah. My dermatologist just made me start wearing hats. Said, you got to keep that sun off your face, man. Otherwise, you're going to have skin cancers galore. And I've got to get this one removed soon. And there's one over here as well. Wait, this side. Yeah, there it is. And one on the back of my neck, of all places, that's really obnoxious and downright painful. So, yeah, me and Hugh Jackman. Bunch of melanoma magnets. I don't know if the chat thing is even going to change on the creator side, Terry. That was more for those of us here that, forget. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, I can change it here, but I think I have to do it from YouTube. Right? I feel like that's probably the best option. That's why I was like, okay, but I'm going to get hats. If I'm going to have to wear hats, I'm going to wear some cool freaking hats. I hate ball caps. I hate how I look in ball caps. Yes, the Daystar is trying to kill us all. Hello, Liza. Good to see you. Has it been a while since you were here? Or is that just a new photo? You look great. Yeah, if it's super short. I remember one time I showed up to a Comic-Con and, what's his name? Mark Singer, Beastmaster himself. It was across the river, like on the east side. Was there, and nobody was at his table. And I was like, I wasn't even there for him. I'd gone there for something completely different. And I was like, whoa, Beastmaster, what's up, bro? And he was just, man, he was done. That poor guy. Yeah, sorry for that. I know it's terribly early, but I try to do it as late as I can without completely interrupting my day. Anyway, so I was going to tell you guys that not only did I get this, obviously the question people probably, at least one or two people probably had in their mind was, what else did you get to knock it over $400 and allow you to get the 40% off that thing that you got? Well, I'll tell you. One of them was this art print by Alex Ross. There we go. Oh, that's not right. That's the motorcycle that I'm going to look at. As soon as this, yeah, I'm looking at motorcycles. There we go. Yeah, this is all askew. I did not click on that image just now to bring it up, but I got it. I got this art print. Obviously, the graphics aren't on it. This is a look at the Iron Man. I think it's Iron Man #1, the reboot when Cantwell was. I keep wanting to say Colin Cantwell, but Colin Cantwell is the concept artist for Star Wars that gave us X-Wings and the Cantwell class cruiser. Yeah, so that's one of them. And the other one, let's see if this one brings up the right image. Nope, it's another image of the Triumph Speed Twin. Get it together, StreamYard. Come on, you have one job. Dude, tell me about it. I'm right there. I'm just like, ugh, all right, let's just make sure that everything's... I don't think there are any nude photos on this hard drive. I'm very touchy about... I don't do... This computer has never seen porn. Never. Never, ever. That being said, there are some artistic nudes that were done early on in my photography career that exist somewhere on this hard drive. Those are sensitive. Anyway, there it is again. Did I bring it back up? Where's it at? There we go. Yeah, then I also got this one. Captain America Man Out of Time. It is the variant cover by Alex Ross for Captain America number 700. I don't know where I'm going to put these, but I may have cause to redo this room. Plus, I may be moving in about a year. Some friends of mine are moving to Costa Rica or Panama or Ecuador, one of those places. And yes, they're immigrating, and they may be there we go. They may, if they do, then I'm probably going to buy their house, which would put me not right in the heart of the city, but it's in St. Louis City. It's actually a city neighborhood, but it's far enough away from downtown where you don't deal with all the crime. Nice neighborhood. I know most of their neighbors. They're very, very cool. Great house. A little bit smaller than this one. I have to take a trip over there to see if it's going to be able to work insofar as creating a studio goes. Partially finished basement with an awesome bar. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully the divorce is wrapped up by then, if that ever gets going. So, artist news. Consider that pic you did with the 1/6 field covering your junk. Artist dude. How do you know about that? I know I showed you that. Oh. That's like you're actually conflating two different images. There is a photograph that I did while drunk where I just laid out every figure that I'd bought for the year on a table. And on a dare, took a photo of myself just stark naked with all the figures in front of my groin. I did that and posted it to the Sideshow Freaks forum back in the day. This was like 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. I don't know. And I thought I was really super clever with how I did it. And then somebody was just like, "What's that thing what's that showing through to the left of Kit Fisto?" And rumor was that it was my junk, but I'm pretty sure in hindsight that it was just Kit Fisto's pink robe peeking out from beneath his brown robe, his pink tunic. He's got a salmon-colored, fleshy-colored tunic in that figure. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure that figure's that. I think I have the only remaining copy of that, but I could be wrong. Now you watch, sure as hell somebody's going to post that. And the other thing is a photo I did of myself not nude with a 1/6 vehicle, but that was interpreted as being perhaps somewhat tasteless. Anyway, so let me see here. I've got the winning vote was cast in the poll. Where's my? There we go. For the video games, which video game should King Shark be playing? Would you like to see King Shark playing? And I had the options were Cubert, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, one of those, not both. Probably not Space Ace. Dragon's Lair, 1943 or 42, and Missile Command. Yeah, I've already had a Ducati. It's time for something new. I also think that Triumphs are a bit more reliable. Currently, I do have Cubert here and with Grogu. And the plan was, I actually don't remember what the plan was. Because because Grogu jumps all the time, much like Cubert. And I really wanted to, oh wait. Dude, he can almost hang on to that. It's almost like there's a magnet holding him there. It's very strange. But yeah, I would love to figure out a way to make this work. Just have a little Grogu figure playing Cubert, and it would just seem so appropriate. About as appropriate as having Han and Chewie play asteroids. So here we go. Let's see. How long is this cord? Of course it's not long enough. I need more power. All kinds of stuff here. Let's see. I can't unplug that. But I can unplug that. We don't need no stinking card reader. Okay, then I'm going to need an adapter. Apologies, everyone. This is something that I should have had taken care of before I started the show. Let's see. Trying to do this without... Oh, wait. That's too far back. All right. Power it up. Flick it on. Wow. I think I have a solution. 1 second. I don't know what happened to my other 10-foot USB cord. Yeah, there's one back there that's plugged into a light that I need to leave plugged in because it's charging and I have work to do today. Oh. It's censored then. All right, let's get this open. Figure that I'm gonna just I'm just gonna have to pivot and figure this out as I go. Like, this might work. Maybe. That's pretty long. Quiet, Keith. You too, Christopher. Big freaking box. Makes it very challenging. I might recommend get a multi-port power outlet and mount it under the front edge of your desk and run the cable up, under, and behind. I mean, not right now, but it's a semi-permanent thing. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Interrupt the whole show just for that? Oh, yeah! There he is! He's wearing a bunch of foam. I wouldn't have it any other way. Go ahead and close that out. By the way, I got speaking of May the 4th, I also got a new shirt. This was allegedly only available on May the 2nd, I think? Yeah, I'm twisting the wrong way. But yeah, they did these series of Heroes and Villains did this series of old school movie posters, t-shirts. There was one for Cad Bane as well that went up on May the 4th, and I can't remember what the other one was. I feel like they did 3, but there may have been 4. And I jumped the gun and got this one instead of waiting to see what else they released. And I really wanted that Cad Bane. Would have gone much better with the hat. Little tiny Starro drone. Look how good it looks. It's creepy as hell. I mean, they really captured those. I was watching the show again yesterday, the film again yesterday, and those Starros are creepy AF. Okay, here's his book. Oh wait, I'm holding it wrong. Hold on, there. If you know, you know. And it's actually, I want to say, I'm just gonna double check before I. Yeah, it's fully, every single page is printed. Yeah, it's, wow. I love that detail. It's not really attention to detail because it seems like an obvious detail, but it's what it is, well, he is straight up dressed in foam. Look at all that. It's like he's wearing a bathrobe. Okay, so here's his hands. I'm going to pull those out because I don't know what I'm going to do with those. And no, this is not me pulling an audible. We're still going to do the tech figure. This is just a bonus unboxing. Got 30 minutes to kill. By the way, yeah, I am going to do that. I have a multi-port adapter back there already. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to run all the microphone, camera, all that nonsense that I've got going on here. But there needs to be more. There are some decisions that I have to make. Let's get this guy over here. Table's got some dust on it. Yeah, well, I'm up for a challenge. Look at him. He's just freaking adorable. That dopey face. So smart, me. Okay. I think a big part of the reason why this isn't sold out is because of the limited articulation. Because the only articulation lies in a ball joint in this hand, a pivot joint up here, just only one plane. I mean, it's like rotation, that's it. It's like, I don't know, the first thing that comes to mind is the blurg. And also you get some rotation down here in the feet. But if you do use that rotation, then you break the line at the ankle. So, yeah, this is, in essence, for the most part, a statue. And I'm comfortable with that. You can swap out some hands. So, I don't know, maybe this idea of... It'd be great if it was magnetized. If it could, like, stick to his head. Right? Because they did try to take over his brain. So now that I'm looking at it, now that I have it out of the box and I'm looking at it, I realize that there's just really no way to, where's the power button on this? Oh. There we go. There's really just no way to have him actually playing the game. Because if you want to get his hand on the controller, you got to do some mad pivoting here, but then he won't be looking at it. So that's a shame. On the plus side, wow. Okay, that's not terrible. Because if you just use the arms like he's reaching out towards it like that, he just looks really happy. It could be done. Anyway, maybe, maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. It's on. For whatever reason, there's no volume, though. There it is. One of the first things that's going to happen if I buy the aforementioned house in the city is that bar downstairs is going to become Geek Central. It has been, for the longest time, a dream of mine to have a bar that's just totally Star Wars and comic book themed. There will be, for instance, at one end or maybe the corner of the bar, because it's an L-shaped bar, with enclosed in a really nice display case. There will be the EFX X-Wing as like the centerpiece. Maybe those framed prints that I just purchased along with this guy will go down there as well. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you can put the arcade on a 1/6 Apple box. That could be fun. Maybe. Do the mini quarters fit in his mouth? Yes, they would. I could literally have a mouthful of mini quarters because I have like, I don't know, 10 of these things. Yeah, if only. That could work. Oh, so happy with this guy. Oh, man. I mean, seriously. There we go. Good idea. There we go. Done. Nailed it. And I think that the book, yeah, you can put the book in his hand. Will the hand hold it? The hand will hold it, but only if gravity is used as its friend. So, yeah, there we go. Works. It works-ish. Anyway, where was I? I was thinking holding the game above his head and mad that he's losing. Yeah, let's... I'm gonna have to unplug it. Not that brave. Not that brave at all. That was brave enough for me to just do that. Okay. Let's put his arms down. But he's really just meant to be displayed. Like, this thing exists. And I wouldn't have it any other way. There are some that would argue that, I'm assuming there are some that would probably argued that they should have just done this with the sleeve, you know, with the flexible sleeve over an armature body, but that would have been a proprietary thing. It would have been expensive as hell, and they probably knew going into it that this wasn't gonna be a terribly popular figure. So the goal, I'm guessing, would have been to minimize the costs going into it for maximum output, and this looks really nice. It looks good. It's gonna go in this room somewhere. I'm just not sure where yet. Probably back there with I'll probably move that Galactica Top Gun thing. And, yeah, that mug back there. There. That is the Galactica Top Gun replica from Quantum Mechanics. Probably move that and put him back there instead. A collision of universes. Let's just go ahead and do that. Okay. King Shark has a home. So happy with that. So happy with that. Never gonna happen, my friend. Never gonna happen. Yeah, it would definitely fall over. First of all, that Kubert game is much heavier than that King Shark figure, believe it or not. Between the construction of it and the internal components, it would just be really, really hard. 938, all caught up in the chats. I'm liking this new system of not going to the top right away and not calling out everybody's name who's in the chats. I hope everybody else is fine with that. But I think it's better to keep up with the chats than it is to say hi to everybody, right? I mean... How do I get my glasses so dirty so quickly? Jesus. It's like... I don't know. Okay. What's everybody doing today? Again, I'm going to look at motorcycles. And possibly taking my dog to the Royale for a lunch and a cocktail. But I also have some work that I want to do for Sideshow. Man, every time I think I'm caught up, a bunch of stuff comes in. Okay. Where's he at? Come here, my friend. The late and lamented Tick. Porn fogs the glasses up. Yeah, but this was like a substance. Oh, you know what I bet it was? I just ate a cutie. Those little tiny orange things. Right before the show. And I bet I got some cutie juice. Somebody's gonna have fun with that one. Yeah, I bet I got some of that juice on there, and it just dried up. Gross, man. That's, you know, I mentioned on another live stream that the tariffs have put my job in jeopardy, and And that is like the thing that I fear most, is having to go back to working. The thing I fear second most is having to go back to work on the weekends. The thing I dislike the most about the concept is having to commute again. Because I am not one for commutes. Yeah, mine's on the way, dude. In fact, that might be, if it gets here in time, I don't think it's shipped yet from Sideshow. It's shipping to me along with, God, there were 3 figures total. Got my hands on a Jack Sparrow Artisan Edition. God, thank God. Because I didn't think I'd want that until I had it in hand from Sideshow. And yeah, they were able to give me one of those. Good. Sign up for the waitlist, people. It works. Keith Lee never disappoints. Anyway, oh, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yeah, I'm finally getting Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is great because there's a show that's going to happen involving this guy as well. I do not have a Death Trooper, but I do have. I'm flirting dangerously close. This is. So many things are shipping, and so many videos are being made that I'm losing track of what's shipped, of what's been released and what hasn't. So I gotta be careful because I'm pretty sure that the character whose name I almost uttered has not been officially released yet. So I gotta be careful where I tread. You guys, man. Seriously. I mean, between Christopher and Keith, I think when I finally start having friends on the live stream with me, which is something I'm thinking about very strongly, because this whole notion of just me on the screen by myself, just jabbering on for 2 hours, has got to get stale. It does for me. I much prefer conversations, but like I would love to have Guy on here. You know, have another show with Paul Hernandez. Get Emil Carfong with me on the show. Nope. But then again, that no would be my answer to any guest that somebody threw out there. So, but yeah, getting back to this, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a live stream in which it's me, Bitter Troll, and Keith Lee, and you guys just hang out and call out inappropriate things, create relationships where they aren't. How's it going? I'm so happy I got to meet Hayden Christensen in person at Comic-Con and got a picture with him and his signature. That's great for you, man. That's very, very cool. He seems like a really nice guy. He's an interesting character. Yeah. Right? I mean, you got, like, having Keith and Christopher just not even saying anything until I say something that can be interpreted in a sexual way or, you know, just creepy way or whatever, and just hit me between the eyes with all that creep factor. That would be awesome. Like the old guys on the Muppets, yeah. Waldorf and I can't remember the other one's name either. Statler and Waldorf, thank you. Bad Wolf Media with a response to that. I knew somebody would call it out. Man, being caught up in the chats is awesome. I love it. God. All right. No more comments. I guess I'll just go ahead and do this. All right. In order to keep this an unboxing, because I did kind of tag it as an unboxing, I have to do go through the whole unboxing process. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. It's very, very cool. It's got that really interesting, almost salmon-colored color palette, maintaining that salmon theme here, Kid Fisto. They actually included an image of him without the goggles, and I'm trying to remember, I should say, if we ever got to see Tech without his goggles on in the show. Regardless. And I've had people say to me, and I mean people that I work with, like, there's not a bit of Tamora Morrison in that face. I disagree. I think there's a bit of Tamora Morrison. Just a bit. Yeah, you do you, bro. To my regret, I did not pick up Revan. I really regret that. Not only do I regret it, I regret not getting the exclusive edition with the coins because it didn't occur to me. I was on the team of people who, when Hot Toys was doing the coins along with the Sith characters, I was like, what's the point of that? And it didn't occur to me until I had one in hand. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you had the display, a complete collection of all of those Sith characters with the coins and created like a little shadow box or something for the coins to live in near or above or behind that display, that would look great. It wouldn't surprise me to find out that somebody's already done that. And if so, I would love to see it. But, yeah. I will also say that one of the things about the Revan figure that kind of bugged me was all the hard plastic elements. I've got the same issue with Balin's skull. His boots, the way that they're just like super hard sculpted plastic, and they just kind of move around and rattle when you're messing with it. I mean, obviously, once you're done messing with it and you put it down on the shelf, then it looks amazing. But there's just something about the tactile quality of it that really turned me off. Which is silly because after I dealt with the video, and I took the figure, and I have a bunch of shelves back there that I just put figures on when I'm done, so I can move on to the next figure without picking everything up. He was sat on that shelf for probably 2 weeks. And I just remember just looking down at him and just being like, wow, he looks really cool. He was on one cube shelf and Starkiller was on the other. I wound up getting to Starkiller in time, but it was too late to pick up Revan. As I understand it, it looks like they're teasing the Jedi Revan, which would be cool. Yes, this is another angle that I thought of for that as well. Oh, probably, if he's anything like me, Christopher, he probably is aware of Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I remember the first several times that it was presented to me as MST3K, I was like, what the frick is that? No idea. As long as I get to keep my pants on, I would have thought you would have wanted to go the other way, but that suits me perfectly. Yeah, that was one of those immediate drops, right? I'm getting hit pretty hard. Gonna have to pump the brakes soon. Oh, General Grievous came with the coin? I didn't remember that. So with the coin, I only have Starkiller and Grievous. Yeah, I don't think I coined up for anything else. Obviously, I'm trying to think of who else there was. I think that. Oh, Maul 2.0 with the speeder. So I've coined up with that one as well. That one's coming next month. Yeah, I think that's shipping to me next month. Brian Carr's in the house. What's up? Speaking of Brian Carr, now that he's here, I can show you that thanks to the inestimable Brian Carr, I now have... Wow, it was that long ago. Man. The December 2022 issue of Toyography magazine. Let's get... I think that comment is a bit superfluous right now, so let's just show this off. For those of you who don't know, Brian Carr is the founder, publisher, and editor-in-chief of Toyography magazine. Which, as the name implies, is a magazine devoted to the art of figure photography, toy photography in general. And this particular issue, as you may see up at the top there, features his interview with me from back then. Wow, man, has it really been more than 2 years? That's just crazy. So yeah, it's full of just great information about the craft. And what I love about it is that, see, I've had conversations with people who are physical media artists, sculptors, painters, what have you, and they have been skeptical about about saying what I do, about calling my toy photographs art. I remember specifically somebody who used to work with Sideshow. He's not with Sideshow anymore. I'm not going to name drop, but I had posted something on Facebook because I was in line at Trader Joe's, I think, and he there was somebody in line behind me, and I was looking at stuff on my phone, and when I opened my phone, the wallpaper was one of my photographs. I can't remember which one. I want to say that it was like a photograph that I'd done of a statue of Carnage, maybe. I think so. And the guy was just like, "What is that? Is that your art?" And I was like, "Yeah. How'd you guess?" and I posted that conversation to Facebook, and immediately this guy hit me back, was just like, "Well, I see my art there," because I think whichever figure that it was, apparently he'd had some role in sculpting it. And just immediately just wanted to knock down my assertion that the photograph that I created was not my art. It was, in fact, just a photograph of his art. So, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make, yeah, look at this. Showcasing the difference between shooting with DSLRs and iPhones, which I know that on Apple's various social media accounts, shot on iPhone has become a thing. Look at this guy. Wow. Anyway, Toyography magazine has a physical edition that you can order, but they also have a digital edition that you can subscribe to online. Wow, yeah. That's interesting. I forgot all about this photo. Completely forgot about this photo. Wow. I'm talking about the one up here. This guy right here. I have no memory of this photo. No memory of it at all. I don't remember shooting this photo. I don't remember seeing this photo. I guess once you get to a point where I don't know. Oh, God. And this is my least favorite photo that I've ever done. I hate this photo so freaking much. I think conceptually it was awesome, but I got in too big of a hurry. There's not a single character in there. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, just look at the, okay, I think that Thor's okay, but I had great poses for all of these, but the poses weren't working with the composition, so I had to tweak the poses to get them to line up in the composition, and the end result was that not a single one of those poses looks natural. Possibly Hawkeye, but Cap certainly doesn't. That Cap will pose way better than that. Everybody just looks like they're standing around. They don't look like they're ready to fight anybody. Like, legitimately, yeah. That one won't be in the gallery show. Anyway, where am I at here? Oh, you've not heard of MST3000? You know, it was never my jam. I had a roommate who was obsessed with it and watched it all the time, but it's not my style of humor. I think it's Canadian. Is it Canadian, guys? Either it's Canadian or it's, I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on to tech. We've already shown the box top. Let's go ahead and showcase this. Yeah. That's a really, really bitchin'. Kill that. I just love all the tech, that, like this graphic up here at the top, the Clone Force 99 graphic, which is not the kind of graphic they typically implement into these for the Star Wars figures. I've seen them do it with like DC figures, Marvel figures, comic book based figures, but not for tech. But there's a lot going on. I love, this is fun back here. I'm just gonna take a quick look at this, and you know, there's the cool thing about posing up figures for one of the animated series is that it makes, if you're trying to recreate the posing or the action in the animated series, it's a bit more forgiving than real life. And I feel like that's what's happening here. This looks awkward to me up here, but it also kind of looks like the cartoon looked. So if that makes any sense, without bashing the artists involved, which I would never ever do. That being said, I found myself recently wishing that we could see They just announced that they're redoing Gears of War for all platforms with modern 4K graphics, which excites the hell out of me because I love Gears of War. I'm still not going to upgrade to a 4K system. I just don't have the time to play video games anymore. Plus, Dobby is a big crybaby every time I pick up a controller. Have I mentioned that here? It's maddening. When I pick up a controller and start playing a game, he immediately starts moaning, shifting in his seat. He's got a bed on the couch right next to where I sit, and sits up and starts looking at me. And then he turns and he faces me while he's sitting up, and then he starts kind of pawing the air and whining at me. And then he gets up in my face and starts licking my face. It's just this progressive thing where he's clearly telling me, hey, knock off this video game stuff, man. Oh, it's Minnesota show, so it's like, you know, Southern Canada. Got it. It's alright, you've actually combined two art forms posing in photography. It's all subjective. Yeah, well, for this one, it was actually just a statue, but yeah, I take your point. There are elements that go. It's like if you're going to say that if you're going to try to make the case that photographing a. Oh, okay. I was catching a smell. It's off-gassing from the plastic. If you're trying to make the case that making a photograph of a statue, in which you incorporate elements like color and smoke. And implement things in the background with Photoshop, like stars, for instance, or what have you. That's not art. Then you also have to make the case that, say, collage is not an art form. Similar concept. Yeah, or still photography is not an art form. If you take a photograph of a vase as a light study, then you can't call that art because you didn't make that vase. So. Yeah, I feel like the guy that made that claim was out of line. I didn't fight him on it, mostly because I wasn't really comfortable. I've not always been popular with my coworkers. Let's just say that. Thoughts on the Sideshow Jabba reissue? I've been tempted as I did pre-order the Scum and Villainy collection. Is that been officially announced as a re-release? I caught a bit of one video and didn't stick around to find out and I haven't asked around to find out if it's actually going to be reissued. If it is going to be reissued, I think that's great. But if it is, I will also be surprised. Because I feel like that one took a while to sell out the first time. But so many things that took a long time to sell out on their first run have come back strong in the aftermarket. Let's hear it for FOMO. Look at the, first of all, look at this figure. It's in plastic though. Look at the bounty hunters. They only released 2,000 each of the bounty hunters, which arguably is the real first run of the Scum and Villainy collection. And I love how easily this plastic is coming off. More like this, please, Hot Toy. Cool. And yeah, I don't know if that's the case, then yeah, great. Nobody wants to pay those elevated aftermarket prices, then yeah, go for it. It's up for pre-order. Wow. It's too big. It's just too big. I have legitimately no place. It's so, I know I've been in the presence of this thing. I have here in front of me a 3-foot by 6-foot desk, and that thing would take up the bulk of the space on this desk. So like you legitimately need like a coffee table. You would have to custom make like a glass encased coffee table sort of a display, or a pedestal, an elevated pedestal with something over the top of it, acrylic or whatever over the top of it, in order to display it. It's massive. It's massive. Mind you, this isn't me discouraging people from buying it. I just want people to know what you're getting into if you go that route. You may very well get it and just be like, now what? Because that's, yeah. 1025 is the new price. That's a surprise. I think last time it was 7 or 8. They're probably factoring in tariffs with that. As a photographer, I don't think I would ever call my stuff art, even the artsy stuff I tried, but that's a personal thing. Yeah, imposter syndrome is very real, and I completely agree, and I get it. And I didn't call any of my stuff art until other people started calling it art. People at work were calling it art. People in the community were calling it art. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's art. I don't like to declare myself an artist. Oh. Walgreens prescription is ready for pickup. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also not comfortable with labeling my own work as art. It's like I don't go back in the studio with a couple of 6-scale figures and say, I'm gonna make some art. That doesn't even enter my mind. And I don't know. I don't know what contemporary theory is on that. I know that there are people out there who endeavor to become artists. I'm not one of those people. I just want to take photos. And if those photos get labeled as art, bonus. Murder by suffocation. Now we know. Falling to his death pose. You would ask for that. I'm just trying to decide if I can do it. I'd have to implement a different stand. Anyway, let's see what he comes with. I am going to definitely have to start going into these videos and dissecting them and recutting them for the unboxing sequence and making it a short. Really super cool backpack that attaches comfortably, magnetically. See that? Just like that. I'm gonna do that one more time. I'm gonna do it one more time over here without my freaking face in it. It's pretty strong. But that also overbalances. Oh shit! Yeah, don't put any magnets on your computer, boys and girls. I know that used to be a thing. I don't know if it still is a thing. We've got this bitchin' little tricorder. I don't know if we should call that a tricorder, but I'm going to because it's funny. All right. There's one more thing. This really threw me for a loop. This system that they devised for this holster, where you have to hook it onto his belt. There's all kinds of nonsense that's going on with this. He's got this whole system right here. Let's get that arm out of the way. For hanging his tools, and the tools, which are here in the plastic tray, I haven't taken them out yet. Here we go. Most of them have to be taken apart, split down the middle, and then inserted into these little holes here, and there's another one up front here that I'm blocking with my fat finger. Is there one in the back of the holster, of the pouch? No. And then and then there's also a gap. You can just barely see that little keyhole there at the top of that strap, and that's where you install this guy. Very, very challenging, as I recall. I kept thinking I was going to break it. And I don't know that I'll get around to putting it on here because I feel like I need to use heat in order to make it work. But I think that's what my memory suggests. Oh, scheisse. More plastic. Protective plastic here. Pop that off. Don't need you anymore. Yeah, that's loving that Bad Batch logo design right there. Obviously, this can be raised or lowered at your convenience. And these things, in order to install it, you have to take the helmet apart. These two parts will pop off, and the helmet will split in two, and you wrap it around his head. We'll get to that. He was wearing his helmet when he fell to his death, right? This part freaks me out. This part freaks me out. Because you actually do pull these on over his head. And I'm going to have to look at the instructions because I can't remember if you're supposed to put the goggles on first and pull the strap down, or put the strap back down there and pull the goggles over. I think it's the former, not the latter. But these go on his head, and then you put the helmet on over them. So it's a lot of fun. It's a complex system, and it works. He has twin DC-17A hand blasters. I may have just added that A. I don't know that DC-17 hand blasters, I think, is the real name. We have had a similar experience, my friend. You know, I actually, Lindsay, my ex-wife, she suggested that I decorate our house with my photographs, and I'm like, why? No, I would never. That being said, I did devise a system. I was going to do a toy photography show. I was thinking about doing a toy photography show. And for the backdrop, I was going to have prints of various 6-scale figure photographs that I'd done, hanging by clothespins from a line, old school darkroom style. Just like imagine a couple lines of those things crisscrossing in the background. One in front of the other, obviously doing, creating some sort of depth there. Yeah, it's, that would have been fun. I still have all the materials for it back there in the studio, and I may get around to it. This, okay. Made a liar out of me before I even uttered the lie. I was about to say that this is the most challenging. Nope, there it is. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it. These guys are just a challenge for me. First of all, they're a challenge for me to get into focus because they're so small, and the camera's grabbing my fingertips instead of the thermal detonators. But you have two thermal detonators, one in a mine configuration and the other one in a grenade configuration. And I almost never use these. I think I've got one on display right now. Might be Echo, actually, wielding it. And then we have a series of swap out hands. I think that's everything. I think I've got all of them. Got trigger hands. There we go. There we go. Trigger hands, gripping hands. Another trigger hand so he can dual wield. And a pointing hand so that he can accuse people of stuff. Like, I don't know, being clones. Universes collide. Another gripping hand. It's like he could be, it's like if you had a Clone Wars motorcycle, he could be riding it. Got motorcycles on the brain. Infographic Tony is a successful illustrator. He sent me a sample of some of his work the other day, and I was just floored. Very cool stuff. So if you're not following him, consider it, because you've been doing this since the early 90s, right, Tony? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, well, thanks, man. I hadn't gotten to the compliment part yet. That's very kind of you to say. I've lost some stuff. I've lost something. I have. I can't understand it. I think that that image of the Avengers with Thanos that I just showed really threw me. Because I really do hate that image. And I think the only one that I've done since then has been an image of Spider-Man with Mysterio and the zombie Iron Man. And see if I can find it. I think it's under screensaver. Under this Mac. That's not working. That's also not working. Pity. And that one wasn't really good either. Now, admittedly, again, I think I already said that for the Avengers image, I rushed it. I rushed it. I think I had a small window to get through with that one. And for the Spider-Man and Mysterio image, it was... I did that image specifically because a friend of mine who was a photography professor at Webster at the time came over and wanted to get photographs of me doing one of my photos. So I was on a little bit of a time crunch there too, because he only had a few hours. So I think I did the whole image in like 2 hours. Still trying to find this. There we go. Oh, well, wait, this is another way that, okay, searching is... My Terrio? Is this it? Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to figure out which one is the, Let's do this one. Apparently I used generative fill on this one. It's just... Oh, I remember. Yeah, because Tom was just like, try this generative fill thing. But yeah, I did this one in like 2 hours. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this one's really painful to look at. Yeah, not a fan of it at all. But, so it's like after doing that Avengers and Thanos image and then following up with this, I'm like, I've lost something. I have lost something. I don't know what it is, but it's... Yeah, I need to get it back if I want to keep doing this. Otherwise, seriously, I can't justify all these figure purchases if I'm not going to be doing images with them. Anyway, but moving back along to this important shit. Let's rip off this annoying plastic. I'll leave it. No, there it goes. All right, we got tech. Kind of getting blown out by that light behind him, right? I was, in fact, holding 2 thermal detonators. Oh, God. Yeah, I have never shot that many images at a show, even for Iron Maiden. I've never adjusted from being a film photographer, fully adjusted from being a film photographer to being a digital photographer in that fashion. It's just never occurred to me that I have unlimited, virtually comparatively unlimited shots that I can take without ever having to reload. And, oof. Yeah, and, yeah, it's, shit, I need the, instructions. Also, I think I'm lazy. I don't want to have to go through all those. I'm very conscious of my time. This, by the way, this track really sounds very, very Bad Batch. Am I wrong? Yeah. Totally has a Kevin Kiner sort of vibe. Let's start over. Let's start that one over. Yeah, even that's the harp at the beginning. Okay. Instructions! Is that upside down? I hope so. It is. I am King Shark. We are all King Shark today. Oh, that's right. He has a, I think. There we go, yeah. He has a, look at that. Another data pad hidden in his forearm. So that's kind of cool. It's amazing what you forget. All this stuff is super hard sculpted, but it's also very, very flexible. Alright, so let's figure out which ones go where. Oh, Christ, there's antennae as well. For his backpack. So much. I'd forgotten how intensive this one was going to be, otherwise I may not have done this particular figure. Keith Lee brought this up. I'm hitting a park. You can bring your camera. Yeah, I do want to get a shot of at the very least, I want to get a shot of the ATRT with the ARF Trooper at the top of this mountain. There's a mountain in St. Louis, near St. Louis, a hike. It's like a 4-mile hike. Maybe it's 2. I hope it's 2. Turn that back down. I'm not real that I'm feeling all dancy today. No, this is fine. But there is a particular type of rock formation that is at the top of this mountain near here that is legitimately millions, if not billions of years old. It's the same type of rock that forms Devil's Tower in Wyoming. And I think it exists in 1 or 2 other places in the world as well. It's super rare, apparently, to come across this particular type of, like, I can't remember if it's hexagonal or octagonal or what have you. I wish that I had images that I could show, but I wasn't prepared to talk about this today. Figurecraft is here. What's up, dude? Yeah. One sympathizes. Poor tech. All right, you know what? There's nothing to it but to do it, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting things on him. I just need to make sure that I know... Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to do the holster first. I want to say that when I did the... And the holster's optional. I don't think he always has the holster on him. The drop holster at any rate. Yeah. Let's see. It's just so tight. Okay. Done and doneer. Wow, that was easier than I remembered. Now the real question is, am I going to be able to put all of these other tools in now that I've created a bit of a barrier with the holster? So I may have just screwed myself in that regard. Let's see. Okay, does anybody know the names of all these tools? I myself do not. There's one here. This one goes at the front and it separates right there. The little head comes off. Shove that one down through the top of the hole and reconnect it. There we go. We got a tool. Let's see, the next one looks like a weird sort of a hammer device. It's probably a welder though. That's what it feels like. Like Han was using that, or Leia was using something like this, I want to say, when she was helping to work on the Millennium Falcon. There we go. I had to find the focus point. So that feels like an arc welder of some sort. Feels. And again, right? Does this one come apart? Yes, it does. It'd be just my luck that I... Yeah, I really did put myself in a bind here by putting the holster on first. So let that be a lesson to everybody else out there. Holster last. I'm not going to take it off now. I may have to. Because the coffee is giving me jittery fingers. Yeah. Shit. Lost forever. Just kidding. Okay. What time is it? 10:20? All right. Just talk amongst yourselves. This is gonna take some focus here. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop this holster back off so that I can put these pieces back, these tools together. right. So shove this guy up through here. All the way up through the top. And then you will have put the wrong side up. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Every time my phone goes off, my phone lights up, I'm like, is that a friend asking me to come hang out or something? Okay. I'm not sure if this is... Oh, it is keyed. So you can't just slide this thing in any old way. You have to have a very specific angle to it in order to get it in. So you have to separate it while holding on to both pieces so that you keep it lined up, keep it aligned, and then reassemble it like so. So here we have two wonderful tools. Well, you know, he's a mutant, right? Something like that. Defective. That is not me saying that people with receding hairlines are defective, because obviously, I mean, mine's not receding that much, but it has receded since I was in my 20s. And y'all should see how much hair I'm losing on my legs. Seriously. I mean, I give up cycling, and then I go through all my cycling career phase without shaving my legs. Being, I don't want to say mocked, but there were several cocked eyebrows from my cycling friends out in California because I was legitimately the only one who still had all of the hair on his legs. And now that I no longer cycle, the hair's falling out of my legs. I'm about to have really super bald legs, and and nobody cares, but still, there it is. Does this need to come apart? Yeah, every piece comes apart. Boom. I don't think that... No, it's not all the way on. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Down. And there it is. Ha! I win again. Yeah, that is a cruel mutation. Why is every other sentence from Terry meme fuel? I don't know. I don't know. That's the garbage. Oh, God. Oh. There you go. See? Yeah. It's growing on me, too. When I first got it. This is the second one of these that I have. I have another, like, Panama-style hat that I think everybody's probably seen on my Facebook profile page, but pic. But I wanted one with a wider brim to get more sun. That's why I ordered this one, and I ordered it in the same size as that hat. But apparently not all sizes are created equal, because it was super tight on my head. So this is like the second rendition of it that I've had, and it seems like it's going to work. Oh, look, somebody new, Tony C. Robles. I'm so happy to have the whole team together now, and I'm hoping that they crosshair with his Imperial colors because it will go well with the new Elite. Yeah, did you score one of those? I passed on it. I saw that I don't want to drop names, but I saw that one of our channel subscribers here was able to score 3. Much as he was able to score 3 of, like, the Umbra Operative Arc Trooper. Echo is, I don't know that he's underrated. I think they just made a lot of him. So, yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know that he's underrated. I think he's probably... Everybody who wants one has one now. whereas everything else kind of came in short when it came to edition sizes. Hair should not fall out, Terry. Yes, I know, and I'm actually going to see a doctor on Thursday about this because that can be a symptom of what's called peripheral artery disease, which would mean that the arteries in my legs have plaque built up in them, and they're not able to get all the oxygen that they need to the capillaries in the legs, which is killing the follicles. However, having spoken with a few men who are slightly older than me about this symptom, they've just all been like, well, that just happens with age, dude. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's not a receding hairline. It's a high forehead. This is coming from a guy who's been shaving his head for almost 30 years. Yeah, my hairstylist has made comments lately about my hair's density, especially up top. And you can actually see where the sun damage ends in my hairline from when I was not protecting my head in my youth. And like I've seen photographs of people with less hair than I have, you can see the same thing. The sun damage from when they were young, when they still had a full head of hair, as compared with a comparatively undamaged pate crown. Yeah. So it has receded slightly. I've always had a high forehead, though. Always. Got that from my grandma. Thank you. Oh, welcome back, dude. Lang Kramer's here in the house. Say hi, everyone. And as well as to Big Dog Pound. Okay. Where was I? Now that I've got all those in, there's one more tool to add to the mix. It's a scope, I think, that needs to come over to this side. I have to figure out which end is up. Okay. Once again, tiny little guy over on this pouch, and double check my work. God, this has got to be the most boring. I'm very sensitive to everybody's time, and I feel like this is legitimately the most boring live stream that I've ever done. There we go. So that's on. Now, can we reattach this holster with all these tools in the way? Maybe. Again, don't want to break it. You don't? Really? Sometimes the stuff that leaves my mouth is just baffling to me. Yeah, the lighting in this room is not the best for this kind of work, and my eyes are not the best either. I remember the first time I did this, it took forever. You know, the work was just like, where's the tech video? Where's the tech video? I'm like, you don't understand. All right, well, I could do this all day. Sometimes 6-scale fun is not fun. God, and I've still got the damned helmet to get to. This is the most prep-intensive figure. Oh. Other than that one from Fallout, the armors from Fallout, drove me insane. You may notice that my voice doesn't appear on the video for the 3-0 Fallout armor. Whatever it's called. But that's because I just gave up on it. Man. I know that I had all this stuff on at the same time before. You know what? I'm just not going to mess with it. Do they show the... No, they don't. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'll have to look at their images, but in the instructions, it's an either-or sort of thing. They don't show the holster on the belt at the same time as the tools. So we're just not going to do that. All right, let's assemble this helmet, or disassemble it, as the case may be. Again, boom. These parts come off. It's one thing when I'm working with Sideshow figures. When it's my own personal collection, I'm a little bit leery of breaking stuff. And, okay, yeah, I was right. Okay. So the goggles go on. By the way, what's Ray Perlman? Met her once. She and Danny DeVito came into the market that I worked at in Malibu. And I should say that I didn't really meet her. She was there with him, and I met him. And only in a professional manner. It wasn't just like, I didn't even acknowledge who he was. He was in the wine shop, and I was just like, can I help you pick something out? I was like, no, just looking around. Very mild-mannered dude. Hands behind his back, just, no. Met a lot of people from the Batman movies there. Kim Basinger, Michael Keaton. Yeah. I feel like there's more. All right. Yeah, carefully sliding those goggles down onto Goggles' face. Yeah, already looking more like the man we know and love. See how much better that is? And again, the strap just slides up and down. Yeah. All right. So we're going all in on this. Have to flip these out this way. Ah, God, it's so delicate. Okay. That is the right. Or his left. My right. And still intact. Okay. Visor comes off. There's a very specific way that it has to go on. You'll need the oh God, that's weird. So yeah, just like that. That's both for your benefit and mine that I say this. And they come apart just like so. Okay. All right. Now, when they show this in the instructions, they don't have the visor off of the helmet. So that's a preference thing, whatever you want to do. But I remember having a hard time doing this. Yeah, there's so many keys that have to align. Let's just go with that. It's a solid new look. It's almost got a colonial marine sort of vibe. Man. Okay. Here we go. Oh, so difficult. Okay. You stay. I love the fact it's foam lined on the inside so that you don't damage his face. I didn't notice that with the one that I had from Sideshow. I don't know if this was added after the production samples went out or what, but I have no memory of that. Unless this is supposed to come out. Nope. Nope, not supposed to come out. That's great. That is great. Because I do remember thinking, oh my God, if I do remember being afraid that I was going to scratch the portrait. There we go. There we go. Let's get this back on him. Again, probably shouldn't have even come off. This one goes on this side. Man. Bam. And this one goes on this side. Also bam. Satisfying snap. Those Lift the visor up over Goggles' face, and we've got it. Huzzah! What am I showing that for? Yeah. What a... Hot Toys, I salute you. This is amazing engineering. There's a bit of a learning curve. It can be a bit challenging. But, God, there's a hook here for this tricorder. I need some devil horns coming out of this hat. For this tricorder, there's a hook. And I can't remember if there's a place to hang it. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. Just quick scan of the figure itself. I feel like there's a hook. I feel like I'm missing a hook. He always reaches back here to grab it. All right. Well, if anybody knows if there's a hook for this tricorder thing, let me know, because I would really like to put that on. Speaking of putting things on, I'm going to get these antennae onto the backpack to round out the look. Unique keyhole designs. One's a half moon, one's a 3/4 pie. So you don't accidentally put the wrong antenna into the wrong hole. Man, just standing there looks great. You don't have to do anything to this thing. Just have it show up. But that's not how I like to play. I need a reference image. There we go. There we go. A reference image that I cleverly labeled Bad Batch Posing Reference. Yeah, I'm so good. Wait, did I lose you guys? No, there it is. Okay, wow. That scared me. I'm going to go ahead and present this file. Search for it. On this Mac. That one will do. Wrong. There we go. Okay. This is how I had him posed up. Now you can see there on the... God, is there a way to blow it up? I wish there were. I don't think that works. You can see that I've got him, look at that, went against everything that I said and had, it's not Echo that has the grenade. I was thinking of Tech having the grenade. So, but you can see right here that I have, this is an example of me having the tools and the holster on at the same time. So it can be done. I just remember it being very difficult. And by the way, this is exactly how the rest of the batch is set up in the studio back there. And I promise I will get around to doing a room tour at some point. I would preferably like to get it done before I move into the new house. That way I can do one room tour and then move into the house and do another room tour video. Multiple room tour videos. But I guess in order to do multiple room tour videos, you must first do a room tour video. One of the more frustrating tasks in 6 scale for me to perform is putting a DC-17 hand blaster into the gun hand for a clone trooper. I've never been able to make one go in all the way without first using heat, and even then it's just not very, very snug. Oh. I'm just going to try different... Yeah, that works. No, not so much. How about this? There we go. Yeah, that one works. Okay, I like that. A random Jedi? I'm assuming rando is random, right? Perhaps. Perhaps. We shall see. Oh, clumsy, clumsy. Terry is clumsy. Let's take that backpack off. I don't want to invite breakage. Okay, good. Yeah, this is. I've had this figure for months. I don't know what I've been. Fuck. I don't know what I've been waiting for. Just other things seem to take priority. I think it's because by the time I finally got it, it was already old news. So at least on some level, part of me was thinking about appeal or how much this video would benefit anybody. Oh, this is a jam here, huh? Okay. Sometimes you just gotta put it in from a different angle. There you go, Christopher, Keith, whichever. Let's see, I kind of feel like... What hand am I using there with him? I'm just gonna blow that up on my screen. Ah, wow. Okay. Looks to be the generic... Yeah. Apparently I'm just using the generic relaxed hand for him to be wielding that thermal detonator. Alright. Now, this is not going to be what one would call an epic pose, but it's going to look good with the... It's going to look really good with the... let's bring that back down. There we go. Wow, everything looks so green. Anyway. Squirrel. Yeah. The whole notion was that he'd be, just checking that line up. Here we go. The thing about clones is you always have to worry about the, you always have to concern yourself with the position of the armor. So you have 30 plus points of articulation in the figure itself, and then when you bring the armor into the equation, it just becomes so much more complex, depending on which figure. And this isn't even the most armor heavy figure in my lineup. Is that broken or just loose? Ah, that's a pity. Look at that. That's a bummer. Well, I've had so many figures that I've unboxed on this show, and this, I think, is the first time that I've encountered one with a flaw while live. Pretty comfortable with that percentage. If this were baseball, I'd be making millions of dollars. That being said, yeah, this thing is sold out, so it's not like I can send it back, so I'll just have to figure out a way to make it work. That's fine. It's fine. And that's not a Paul. It's fine. I miss that guy. Is he still streaming? I have not been to his show in a long, long time, except to pop in and be like, hey, everyone, I'm going to go do something else. Let me just blow this up for myself here. head. So I'm trying to get him crunched a little bit here. As like he's under fire. So he's getting ready to throw this grenade, but he's not standing up tall to throw it. He's crouched down so he can take cover if he needs to. I also feel like he's standing upright just a bit too much. Spin it around so that you can get a look at him. This is where I'm at with this pose. But I don't know, maybe that's good. Let's try it lower and see what it does for us. And that's one of the beauties of ratcheted leg joints, is that you can count the number of clicks that you use and use that as a reference. There we go. Want to jut his neck out, like stick it forward a little bit while also turning it. I mean, you got so much. That's like a double ball joint on there, so it will do like it will move in this sort of a pattern. All right. Lean it forward on his feet just a touch. Get him on the stand. That works. Grab that groin. Magnetize that thing. Let's see. How's he looking here? Paul is still streaming most Sundays? Okay. I think he skipped last weekend. That's good to know. We're probably streaming tonight on the new DL44 network channel. Good place you could do cameos. Oh. Huh? I'm not opposed to an invite. I never invite myself. All right. I think that's got it. And again, this is more of a down. Obviously, you can see in the photograph that it's kind of almost. It's not quite a worm's eye view, but it's down low. It's like ankle to shin is the position of the camera, looking up at them. So you'd be more like. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty close. Looks like I've got this arm bent a little bit more, which makes sense because I wouldn't want that thermal detonator to fall out or anything. Yeah. Try again. Wow. I do a really good job of copying myself. Except the only difference is, looking at this now, I can see that I have Echo. I have Tech kind of on his back foot. So shifted more like along that line. And in this one, he seems to be leaning a little bit further forward. I'm comfortable with that. There can be variations. And I may get it in there, and once it's on display with the rest of the batch, it might just be like, no. I'm going to need to adjust that again. One of the things that I like to make sure that I do is get the thermal detonator set so that the lever is attached to the thumb, at the very least. Because they're going to flick it with their thumbs to activate it. And if he's just holding it with the lever floating out there, then that kind of just takes away from it. Anyway. I'm not going to be bringing the rest of the batch out for this one. Because this table's not big enough for all of that. But you'll have to use that photo as your... Hopefully that's satisfied. Have you ever done a pose and tried to retreat it again but wasn't able to? How do you mean? Had tried to recreate? Okay. I don't know. If it happened, then it wasn't so traumatic that it stuck in my mind. It's but I fear it. I fear it. Sideshow is obviously shipping figures to me to do videos for. It adds up. So we're always trying to find ways to save money here and there. I mean, it adds up to thousands of dollars a year that they're spending on shipping to get me figures to shoot. And so we're trying to find ways to curtail that as much as we can. And one of the approaches that has been mentioned, and we've done it, is for like posing videos, use the figures from my own collection. If I have figures that are still in stock at Sideshow, for instance, and they want to give it a push, they're like, let's do a 10 pose short. Do you have this one? Yes, I do. Yeah. Feel like are you comfortable with using it? Sure. Except for Anakin on Stap. Anakin on Stap was such a complicated pose to do that because I'm super happy with it. He's holding onto the staff with one hand, his lightsaber's out with the other, and he's not. You've seen that one that Hot Toys did and that I replicated at Comic-Con. And see that one? No. This one? No. This one? No. This one? Yeah. You've seen the one that I replicated at Comic-Con where he's like standing. He's got his left foot on the right foot plate, and like he's getting ready to jump off of the speeder, the step. And it's cool. It's a very cool pose, but it looks unnatural to me. I was never really a fan of that. And so what I did was much more straight out of the show, where he's leaning. He's got his hand still on the handlebars. He's leaning out like he's getting ready to slice a battle droid that he's flying by. And that reads as far more real to me. I've done something similar using a speeder bike with Luke Skywalker. And I want to say that was done in a How to Be a Poser video, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's like I'm not even willing to take that thing down from its perch high atop a DTOF shelf in my bedroom. Yes, I have figures in my bedroom. Hashtag why am I single? I mean, I will take it down if it's for like a solid photo op, or for just a quick pairing, but with a related figure like Ahsoka Tano. But I will not break that pose down to do a video, a posing video for my employer. I will not. It's just too perfect the way that it is, and I don't know that I would have the patience or the time to try to recreate it again. Very challenging. I'm trying to figure out where you would see it. It would be, well, I last broke it down for a clone trooper. Might have been the ARF trooper and ATRT video. You might be able to see it at the tail end of that. Maybe. Anyway, moving right along. I hope Hot Toys someday will consider extending the hand pegs. 7 minutes left. It's always hard to keep your hands attached when posing due to the body armor. Yeah, not always, but yeah, frequently, often, more than half the time. There are some that are more difficult than others, right? But it can be difficult. And I'm like, yeah, that would be one solution. I mean, obviously you would still have the hands. It frequently happens when doing a bending motion with the arm, right? Because the armor collides right here with the bicep area and pushes forward, and that knocks the hands off. And having a longer peg would alleviate that some. The hand would still come out, but there would be enough of a peg left within to actually make it hang on for a little while. At the risk of making his arm look obnoxiously long, or abnormally long. Not obnoxiously, but abnormally long. I think that I've never taken a Hot Toys figure apart. Not recently, at any rate. So I don't know what the engineering looks like on the inside, or how much extending that keyhole to accommodate a longer peg, how much that would compromise the integrity of the forearm. But I don't think that it's something that's impossible to pull off. In my head, it seems like it could be done. I think you're right. This team would be a ton of fun as a video game of Bad Batch. You know, yeah, something along the lines of Republic Commando would be a lot of fun, where you could be Hunter and directing the batch. You could hop from character to character. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I would welcome a video game like that. Oh, there we go. Beat me to it. And I frequently have had that thought now that I know that they're legitimately doing all of the commandos from Republic Commando, which I predicted they would never do. While at the same time hoping that they did it. And by the way, to be clear, that is another thing that I've walked away from. I've chosen not to get those. Whether I regret it or not remains to be seen. But I think I already do. Have you had a figure in a cool pose, but it fell on you and it turned out to be better pose than the one you had? Well, when it, I'm assuming that you mean that it fell and when I picked it back up, I reposed it and it looked better the second time. Yeah, that's happened. Which means, I mean, that kind of implies that whole notion of my paranoia about the Anakin and Stap, it could very well be that if I broke it down, I could pose it back up and it would be 50 to 100% better. I don't know. Hopefully I never will know. I don't. I like it too much the way that it is. He's up there in battle with Cad Bane, which I think is something that I did. I had that in mind specifically before the Cad Bane figure came in. So Anakin and Stap has been in this pose for ages, waiting for Cad Bane. So if you look at the Cad Bane first look, I think that you'll probably see those two posed up together, the way that they are now. Oh, is that right? That's fun. Yeah, hit that like button now that we have 3 minutes left in the stream. You lightning the fire every Saturday is the cue. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I think I do, but anyway. Yeah, I think I'm a big fan. I've not found a Bad Batch poster or art print that I like enough to have in my house yet. There was one, and I want to say that it was from Acme Archives. It wasn't from Sideshow, it was from Acme. And by the time I moved to get it, it had sold out. So, move back up here, see what I'm missing. Yeah, there's a Thanks for that compliment about the group shot. There's also another one. Tech. Is it this one? No. Dudes, I don't know what is that? Weird. Because there was another shot that I did of them for that video, but maybe it was strictly shot as a video. I don't know what I named it. That's really a shame. Wait, I know what to do. Gotta find the path. Hot Toys Bad Patch Clothing. Oh wow, that's still here, huh? Wow. Okay, I need to bring up, man. Okay, this video is going to run long, but if I can find this, it'll be worth it. I promise it'll be worth it. There's that. What is going on? Oh, no, okay. This is just a video that I did for... Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well. I did a shot of... It wound up being like a post-credits thing. After the first look ended, I did a shot of all the batch with their helmets off, except for Hunter, because at the time I couldn't find Hunter's portrait. But, like, Tech was in the middle, and all the batch were, like, sitting there, like, with their heads down, with each one having a hand on his shoulder. And I would love to recreate all of that with a better backdrop and include that in the gallery exhibit once that happens in September. Anyway, well, you could call this a Game Boy, right? If you could get it to focus. There we go. I've been calling it a tricorder just because I think it's funny. Okay, guys, lots to do today. Dobby wants to walk really bad, I'm sure. And I could probably use a walk. Hashtag milkshake. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. I know that it was kind of like a drawn out episode with the difficulty of putting tech together and everything. Having to endure watching me do that had to be painful. But that's why you're able to scroll. And again, it's not the best pose. It's what it needs to be. It's exactly what it needs to be for the display. And you don't need to be all dynamic and super actiony all the time. In fact, I usually prefer not to be. Yeah, not this week. Yeah, not this week. I feel like the Bad Batch would be best for Lafayette Square Park. There's that crazy root structure that's going on around that tree in Lafayette Square Park. I think I sent you images of it at some point. But yeah, I think that we could do that one. That would be a lot less of a hassle than going all the way to that mountaintop. All right, guys. That's enough of that. Have a good weekend. Have a good week after that. And hope to see you back here next week when I will be posing, who knows, hopefully something cool. Hopefully something that sits on a dewback. Did you see that? That actually moved the hat. Raising my eyebrows moves the hat. That's funny. Yeah, so have a good week. And until next time, be good to your plastic.